Now, you guys remember the video that I did about a year ago at this point where I said, I think the title of the video is Star Rail will never surpass Honkai Impact 3rd. And the premise of that video, a little bit clickbaity, but the premise of that video was that storytelling of Star Rail would never surpass the storytelling of Honkai Impact 3rd, but that's too long of a title, so that's why it's titled that way. But I wanted to go back and touch on this because I said after Pentaconi, because everyone's like, oh, the writer from Honkai Impact 3rd is going to be working on this. It's going to be so much better. It's going to be peak. It's going to be just as good, if not better, than Honkai Impact 3rd, and it's going to be amazing. So I said, okay, we will revisit this, and we'll see if I still feel the same way a year down the line after Pentaconi is out and it's finished. Now, we are on patch 2.4. I just did the story for patch 2.4. I'll go over it briefly. The first half, mid. The second half, where we're actually in the jail, very good. I'm very excited for the next patch and seeing more of Fei Xiao and the prison and everything. I'm very excited for that part. But I wanted to touch on, is Star Rail just as good as Honkai Impact's 3rd storytelling? And can we expect in the future even more better storytelling than what we have now? At this point, I'm going to say once again, no, we are not. Main point being, as I said in the previous video, Honkai Impact 3rd has Kiana, a main character where the story is mainly focused around her. Voice acted, all the characters around her that support her, the supporting cast for her, May, Bronya, Sela, all those characters are all a very integral and important part of the story, and it follows them throughout the entire story. And you see these characters coming back and forth into the story and being main prevalent parts of the story. Whereas in Star Rail, we have the MC, which kind of talked a lot in this patch, right? But not really, doesn't really talk all the time, right? So he's not like an MC where like everything's focused on him and he's constantly talking or she's constantly talking. And we visit these planets and we see these people and these new characters. We fall in love with these new characters, and for like a patch or two, and then we never see them again. You know, Sela, Bronya, like, right? Maybe you see them in an event, right, down the line, or a filler patch, but as a part of the main integral story, no. Maybe years down the line at like 5.0, 6.0, when there's some crazy war against the Aeons going on, if that ever fucking happens, that we will see them again, right? Everyone's going to come together and fight against the Aeons with us or something like that, right? It's going to be like One Piece where Luffy's gathering all these people unbeknownst to him that are following him, and you know, they're going to be part of his army. Now, that's not the only reason. It's not just the MC, which is a very big part, right? It's not just the Trailblazers MU and the Trailblazer, you know, he's not really that serious. He's very comedic at times. It has nothing to do with that. It's more the fact that there's no stakes in this game, in the story of this game. But what I mean by that is, holy shit, I would like to see somebody die. This game has still never gotten me to feel remotely what I felt when I fought Cocolia. That was awesome. The fight itself, the build up to the fight itself, the emotions that were going through, the cutscenes, the music, the battle, everything was so cinematic. And I still think that was better than Pentaconi, 100%. That the feeling from that fight and that moment in Belobog and the build up for that was way better. And Cocolia died. There was actual stakes there, right? There was death. There was a reason, right, to care about this character, because the character died, you know, and at the end she finally came to and started realizing that, wow, I fucked up. I was a piece of shit, and at least I get to protect my daughter. And instead of blowing herself up and taking everyone with her, she just dies, right? She just disappears. And Pentaconi, listen, I love Firefly, but that bitch needed to die. She died 3 fucking times and came back every time. What is this, fucking Dragon Ball Z? Holy fucking shit. We got the goddamn Dragon Balls and wish that bald-headed bitch back again. No Himiko death, no Sunday death, no Robin death, no nothing. It was all a dream. Like, oh my god, dude. Whereas in Honkai Impact 3rd, there is constant death. And not only is there constant death, but the characters around the main character help build Kiana's character so much more than she herself does.
キアナ、力を抑えて。教えたことを思い出すの。神なる者、天下の極みなり。万物に妙にして剣を持ち、剣を持って離すべからざる者なり。大挙剣気神雲。こんなやつに負けてたまるか。院長、敗者なんかじゃない。キアナ、姫子。そうだよね、約束したもんね。一緒にこの完璧じゃない世界を私たちの望み通り変えてみせる。彼女たちはいつだって諦めない。今は私がすべきことをする番だ。みんなの選択は間違ってないってみんなに教えないと。あんたの攻撃は終わり。何？それなら私の番だ。文句ある？
For example, Mei being so powerless to wanting to stop Kiana from being self-sacrificing, right? Kiana knows she's on the verge of death, but she's taking those 2 cores that she has anyway, and she's going off to fight the Honkai. And she knows that she's gonna die, but she doesn't care because she wants to protect her friends and she wants to protect Mei. And she's very stubborn in accepting help and saying, I don't want no help from nobody because I don't want anyone to die and I don't want to be the reason that someone else has died. I am going to do it all by myself. And Mei, you know, the frustrations going through Mei, the lack of power to being able to protect her friends and the ones that she cares about, the ones that she loves, and finally overcoming that and getting the strength that she needs by pretty much joining the dark side. And then having these 2 ideals and these 2 beloved characters fighting each other, because on one side, Mei does not want Kiana to sacrifice herself. She wants to save Kiana. She will literally go to the depths of hell to save her. It doesn't matter if she dies as long as she saves Kiana. Kiana is on a self-sacrifice path where it doesn't matter what happens to her. She just wants to make sure that all her friends are safe. So you got one thinking, you know, I'm one life. What's one life where, you know, to protect the entire world, right? And then there's Mei saying, I will kill the entire world to save your one life, right? And then having them come at each other and then the emotions that are flying when you're fighting and doing that scene where you're fighting, and the way that they tell the story in Honkai Impact 3, a lot of people think it's just visual novel storytelling. No. In this fight, you're actually controlling Mei and having to fight against Kiana and vice versa. And they're having dialogue throughout the story, and there's you know, little flashbacks and the music while you're fighting and everything. It is so well done for, you know, how old the game is. And Honkai Star Rail just doesn't have any of that. Star Rail does not have any stakes like that. There's not enough happening in the story for you to give a shit about any of these characters more than, oh my god, they're so cool or they're so cute. There's no like emotional detachment of like, wow, I can relate to this character, right? There's a lot of relatable, you know, to IRL things in Honkai Impact 3 that happen. A lot of psychological shit that happens in that game make you feel for these characters. And in Star Rail, that just doesn't happen. I know a lot of people love Penacony and a lot of people like to praise Penacony like it's one of the best stories that they've ever played. Bro, no. Please. Do yourself a favor and go play an actual game with a good story. Go play The Last of Us. Go play Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. Go play a Final Fantasy game, Dragon Quest. right? Go play something that isn't a gacha story, and you will realize that the story of Star Rail is so fucking boring because the way they tell it. Bro, I loved the stuff with Acheron and the Honkai Impact 3rd nods, right? I loved all of that lore. I loved those parts, and I liked a lot of Aventurine stuff too. But that one patch where we had it was like 10 plus hours, and it was just constant yapping. Bro, when you're telling a story, and the way that you're telling the story is just a model just sitting there with no emotion, very stiff, of just the mouth moving for fucking 10 hours. That is not good storytelling. Maybe the actual lore is decent, but the way they're telling the story is not good. And this is the problem I have with every Hoyoverse game. And I'm going to be real. I know you're probably going to say, oh, Hoyo, Kuro Shill. Wuthering Waves 1.1 and the last act of the part 1, well, 1.0, did not make me feel that way at all. Like, the characters in even those very, like, static moments are very expressive. When we're just, when we're at the parts in Wuwa where they're just talking, right? Like, similar to Star Rail Genshin, they're very expressive. Their eyes move. Their hair is moving. Like, everything, that, like, the facial expressions are all there. Everything feels way more alive, and it's keeping me like interacted. I feel like I'm a part of it. Like I'm sucked in, I'm locked in, especially Chang Li. My God, that 1.1 spoiled the shit out of me for Gacha Story because that shit was so good. Her companion quest and 1.1 as a whole, that was amazing. And it's gonna be hard for another story to top that because that was so good to the point now where I got in Star Rail and did 2.4 and I was like, ooh, going from Wuthering Waves with, the Unreal Engine graphics and the expressiveness of the characters and, them telling the story while you're in combat to like this, is not really as good. And I know a lot of people are going to say it's because Star Rail's turn-based. Wrong. A lot of Final Fantasy games are turn-based. A lot of Persona games are turn-based. A lot of Dragon Quest games are turn-based. And I am engrossed all the time. You know why? Because in those scenes, the cutscenes where things happen, it's not just them standing still talking for 2 hours and then we randomly get a cutscene that's 5 seconds long and we're supposed to be like, oh my God, that cutscene was crazy. Did you see that? That just made the last 4 hours worth it. No, it didn't. If anything, I'm at the point where that's it. We only have 5 seconds. We sat here for 10 hours. We get 5 seconds of Acheron just fucking going, phew, phew, and then that's it. End of cutscene. Like, holy shit, bro. And so, like, again, going back to like characters adding on to Kiana, right? Everlasting Flames arc is another very important segment where she pretty much uses the powers of her friends, power friendship, right? But hey, it's a typical shonen trope, but it works, right? And she sees the death of her friends and she uses their power to overcome the pressure of domination and ends up winning the fight, but at a cost. And then they constantly doing nods to other characters that did die. Like, Himiko, you get that scene of Himiko smiling at her like, oh, she's overcome her, her worries and, she's strong now. She doesn't need her anymore, right? In that arc where you say goodbye to her. Very, very touching. And they're bringing these characters back to be involved in the story. And this is what makes you care about these characters because they're gone and the cast still thinks about these characters and cares about them. And it makes you also relate and feel like you care about these characters. That can't be done in Star Rail. It just can't. And seeing how Star Rail had a chance to kill at least somebody in Penacony. Sunday didn't die. Robin didn't die. Firefly didn't die. Nobody in your cast died. Literally nobody died. Now, I'm not saying someone needs to die for the story to be good, but holy shit, it's been almost it's been 2 years at this point. and not a single person besides Kokolia has died. And that I feel like is just because they kill Kokolia in every game. GGZ, Honkai Impact 3rd, she dies in every fucking game. Every reality, every different dimension, like she's dead. And same thing with Himiko, so maybe Himiko will still die. But I don't know. And a lot of people are gonna say, oh, but Honkai Impact 3rd has been out for 7 years. They've had time to develop the story. At this time, where we at right now, they were already at the point where let's take out the fact that the first year of the game coming out was them just fixing the game, because the game came out awful, right? The game had a lot of bugs, didn't run well on phones, had a lot of issues. They spent a lot of time just fixing the game, not making updates, just fixing the game, not doing story updates, just fixing it. And then let's take that out. It was about 8 months to a year around there, right? For them to finally get the shit right. At the 3-year mark, right, is when they got to the Himiko part. So take out that year. It took them 2 years to build up to that. I don't even think it was 2 years, like 1.5, for them to get to the point. I think it was like 2.5 or 2.6 of Himiko, it's her dying, right? Never let you go. It took about 1.5 years. We are 2 years into Star Rail, and still nothing like that's happened. Bro, shit, even in 2.4 just now. Shuye, spoiler alert, right? So just fast forward 10 seconds if you want to hear this. Shuye literally gets crushed by Hule. Fucking destroyed. And then they're like, oh yeah, her soul can just be put into another body. Like Nier Automata. It's like 2B. They just upload her mind to the bunker, and then she has another body. So she's in the crane, and then she's gonna go from the crane to another body for her. So like, I was like, oh my God, Shuye died? Immediately, oh, never mind, she didn't die. It literally took me out. I was like, oh my, I don't even fucking care about what happens anymore. There's no death, there's no stakes, there's nothing to be scared about or worried about. There's just sit there and watch them yap and have a cool cutscene for 5 seconds. That's it. And then Zenless Zone Zero, well, this isn't a Zenless Zone Zero video, but Zenless Zone Zero made me go back to Honkai Impact 3rd. So just letting you guys know, I am going to be posting Honkai Impact 3rd content a lot. I know a lot of you guys unsubbed because you were sick of me not posting anymore, or you were constantly asking me about it. I'm not going to stream it though. I am just going to do it off stream and upload it, because every time I stream it, y'all be spoiling the fuck out of me. I hated streaming that game, because I would have 400, 500 people here on YouTube and another 100 on Twitch, and it would just be constant people foreshadowing and spoiling. And I don't want to be, that shit makes me mad, man. And then people come in and they just see me flipping the fuck out on chat, and they're like, wow, this guy's an asshole. But that's why. So I'm just going to record it off stream, edit it down, and post on YouTube. So you guys will have Honkai Impact 3rd content again. I'm going to try to catch up and play part 2. But yeah, Star Rail, bro, we ain't never, and ain't never ever gonna be like Honkai Impact 3rd storytelling. It is not gonna be having stakes like Honkai Impact 3rd. It is not gonna have death or relatable moments like Honkai Impact 3rd. It's not gonna have that psychological feeling. And it's just, you're not gonna care about characters like you do in that game, because the storytelling is just so much better. And I still love Star Rail. Don't get me wrong. I'm still gonna keep playing it. Of course, I'm gonna keep playing it. It's one of my favorite gacha games. But I am, I'm not gonna keep hope that like, oh, the story's gonna get good. No, it's not. It's decent for what it is. But I'm gonna be real, bro. I've been playing Outer Plane, and I think that shit has a better story than Star Rail does. People die. There's stakes. Is better for Nikkei Gacha. Is way better storytelling than shit. Even Snowbreak. Like Star Rail just feels like a giant slice of life, with some moments that make you feel like it might get dark, but it doesn't, And sure, there are side quests that get pretty dark, where they talk about, oh, this person was a mass murderer, suicide, like all that stuff. But it is never, in the prevalent, like, main story. It is literally stuff you have to look for, and it's not shit that's shown to you. So I'm not getting my hopes up anymore. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Star Rail's story competes with Honkai Impact 3rd, or do you, like me, know that Honkai Impact 3rd just blows Star Rail's story out the water? I'm going to be honest here. I wish that Honkai Impact 3rd made a little bit more money. They just did part 2, and they still only make like 3 million on mobile. Maybe there's more on PC. Maybe they make like 5 million in total, right? But man, I feel bad, because like that game deserves so much more views and money, because it is actually so good, especially part 2. Part 2's combat, holy shit. is way better than ZZZ's combat, dude. You got aerial combos, you got swapping in and out to juggle. Like, it is so much better. When I saw that ZZ didn't even have a jump button, I was like, this game gonna be ass. Now, I cannot play an action game in 2024 without a fucking jump button. It is ridiculous. Yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you all on the next video. Keep your eyes out for more Honkai Impact 3rd videos. It's coming.
これで授業はおしまいよ。I did them all for a chance at least to live in your way. Love of you is my most